What's good, y'all? I want to talk about this situation. Michael Williams Jr., he was supposed to be fighting Adrien Broner tonight, but the fight got canceled about a week ago, and some very unfortunate situation happened to Michael Williams Jr. His jaw was broken, so the fight had to be called off. And now we had a conversation, who is to blame? Was it Roy Jones or was it Michael Williams' camp? And me personally, I feel like I have to fault Roy a little bit, man, because I feel like he went about it the wrong way to get Michael Williams Jr. out of that fight. Because to start off, I heard an interview, a couple interviews from Michael Williams Sr., and he say that the training camp, even in the beginning, Roy Jones was not doing his job. He was talking shit about Michael Williams Jr. and how he didn't have much of a chance or whatever. So he was trying to persuade the Williams camp to not take the fight. He straight up asked them a couple times to turn down the fight because Michael Williams Jr., he was not looking good in sparring. He was sparring 130 pounders, according to Roy Jones, and he was getting worked. He was fighting 3-0 fighters, 130 pounders, smaller guys, and they was hurting Michael Williams Jr., and Michael Williams could not keep up. So he was trying to persuade the Williams camp not to take the fight with Broner. And me personally, like Roy Jones, he's wrong for having Michael Williams Jr. spar a bigger guy. The guy was like 160 pounder, I heard. Michael Williams Jr., he's a 147 pounder. This fight was going to be at 140, I believe. And I'm going to just be honest. Michael Williams Jr., he was picked to get knocked out by Broner. And me personally, I had Broner with the knockout in this fight because Michael Williams Jr., he has suffered a loss to John Bowser, who just lost to Richardson Hitchens. Michael Williams looked it very bad. I mean, he was barely getting hit with punches and he was hitting the ground. He got knocked down 5 times against John Bowser. You know what I mean? So, of course, I cannot pick him to beat Adrien Broner. But Roy Jones Jr., I feel like he's wrong in his outlook of this situation because Michael Williams, he say that at the beginning of the camp, Roy was acting funny, right? And it was because Chris Eubank Jr., he just suffered an upset to Liam Smith, and he just had a bad feeling about this fight. He didn't want to look bad because he felt like Michael Williams Jr. didn't have what it takes to even compete with Adrien Broner. And I have to go against Roy on this thinking because I don't think Michael Williams Jr., if he was to go in there and get knocked out by Adrien Broner and lose the fight real bad, I don't think that's a knock on Roy Jones Jr. I mean, we're not going to blame you for the loss. He's a huge underdog going into the fight anyway. Your job is to make him look as good as possible. Just because he loses the fight don't mean you lose the fight, Roy Jones. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody gonna look at you no other type of way if Michael Williams Jr. go out there and lay an egg. I mean, that's not you out there fighting. You the trainer, bro. You don't get all the credit when he win or lose. And me personally, you can't be trying to protect Michael Williams Jr., from getting his ass whooped or whatever and ruining his career because you brought in a big guy, you brought in a big man to go full throttle on him a week before the fight, and you got the man's jaw broken. You know what I mean? A broken jaw that could affect his career just as much as him going in there and getting knocked out. You know what I mean? At least let the man make it to the payday. You know, Adrien Broner, he's past his prime. Adrien Broner, you know, you never know what AB you could get. Michael Williams Jr. has potential. He has tools. He could have went in there and you know put on a good show against AB, win or lose. Even if he would have still lost, you still get credit for looking good in that loss. And I feel like this potentially could have been one of those situations. You know, I had Broner winning the fight, but hey, look at Broner's last 5, 10 fights. All of them was close. Michael Williams Jr., it wasn't like he was going in there with a straight killer. So Roy Jones, I feel like he's wrong in this situation. You know, he should have let this young boy shine. And, thinking that he's just gonna embarrass you, it don't got nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? I feel like Roy Jones, he should be doing a better job as a trainer, and a lot of great athletes are not great coaches because they get frustrated with their talent that they're coaching because they feel like they should be able to do all the stuff that they done when they was coming up in their prime. And that's no way for Roy Jones to be teaching these guys to be out here fighting with their hands down, like how Chris Eubank Jr. was, even though the knockout he did suffer was kind of an elbow, but still, like he's not that slick. He don't have the reflexes and the tools like Roy to be fighting like that. You know what I mean? I feel like Roy should have a different philosophy. Even with your athletic fighters, their athleticism is not that prime Roy Jones Jr. athleticism. You know what I mean? Nobody that Roy coaches has the tools that he once had. You know what I mean? But shout out to Michael Williams. Michael Williams, he been on YouTube going around explaining his side. Roy had his side or whatever. But I just felt like if you feel like the man just ain't that good, I mean, I understand you telling them like, bro, y'all shouldn't take the fight or whatever. But if they not listening to you, then you gotta still rock with them because you work for them. You know what I mean? Like Roy Jones, I remember a prime Roy Jones. He said he got mad as hell at his team because they turned down the James Toney fight when he was coming up. He could have got that title shot with James Toney earlier. Roy knows what it is. Roy's went after challenges when his team told him not to. So I feel like he should be able to relate to Michael Williams Jr. more. And, that's sparring with that week out left with a bigger man like that. That was just uncalled for. Michael Williams, he should have, kind of looked at that before he even got in the ring. Like, Roy, should we even be doing this? You know? So, y'all let me know who y'all think got fault.